The crystalline chamber of the Galactic Council resonated with harmonious vibrations as Ambassador Kiven of the Zephrani Collective raised his ceremonial chalice. Around the circular table, representatives from 47 species lifted their own vessels in triumphant unison. The holographic display at the chamber's center showed Earth, once blue and green, now a smoldering gray sphere wrapped in nuclear winter. To the end of the human threat, Kiven announced, his triple-jointed fingers trembling with satisfaction. May their arrogance serve as a lesson to all emerging species who believe themselves exceptional. The council erupted in celebration. Bioluminescent patterns flashed across the Kolari delegation's skin. The methane-breathing Tharks released clouds of euphoric pheromones into their containment suits. Even the normally stoic silicon-based architects allowed their crystalline forms to pulse with victorious light. Dr. Anna Chen's hands were the only ones that didn't move. Shackled at her wrists and ankles, the human xenobiologist stood in the center of the chamber, the last witness to her species' genocide. Her dark eyes remained fixed on the holographic image of her dying world, jaw clenched so tightly that Kiven could see the muscles working beneath her skin. "You seem displeased, Dr. Chen," Kiven observed, his translator rendering his clicking language into flat, emotionless English. "Perhaps you finally understand humanity's place in the cosmic order. You were given every opportunity to join us as subordinates. Your pride demanded equality. Your violence demanded consequences." Anna's lips moved, barely above a whisper. "You don't know what you've done." Kiven's auditory membranes fluttered in amusement. "We know precisely what we've accomplished. The human military has been eradicated, your colonies glassed, your homeworld rendered uninhabitable. In 600 years of Council history, no species has ever recovered from orbital kinetic suppression at this scale. 3 billion dead in the first hour," added Councillor Vrex of the Talenar sovereignty, his scaled face twisted in what passed for satisfaction among his reptilian species. "Another 2 billion in the nuclear winter that followed. Your remaining billion will perish within months. Humanity is extinct, Dr. Chen. Accept it with grace." Anna finally lifted her gaze from Earth's image. When she met Kiven's compound eyes, he saw something that made his anterior spiracles constrict involuntarily. Not despair, not defeat. Certainty. "We sent 47 colony ships into the void before you struck," Anna said quietly. "Each one carrying 10,000 people in cryostases. Each one equipped with industrial fabricators and genetic banks. Each one heading to systems beyond your territorial borders." Kiven's translator barked with laughter. "Colony ships, 47 vessels of refugees scattered to the winds. Dr. Chen, we have an empire spanning 2,000 star systems. Your pitiful survivors will be hunted down within a generation. They possess no military capacity, no industrial base, no." The lights went out. Emergency bioluminescence engaged 3 seconds later, casting the chamber in sickly green light. Councillor Vrex hissed in alarm. "What is the meaning of this? Kiven, your station maintains this facility." But Kiven wasn't listening. His compound eyes had fixed on the holographic display at the chamber's center. Earth's image had vanished, replaced by something that made his cardiac vessels freeze. An emergent signature, then another, then hundreds. "Impossible," he breathed. The main viewer flickered to life, showing the space outside Council Station. Against the backdrop of stars, reality was tearing itself apart in brilliant cascades of Cherenkov radiation. Ships materialized from quantum tunnels, massive, angular vessels unlike anything in the Council's comprehensive databases. Anna's voice cut through the chaos. "Not colony ships, Ambassador, voidrunners." Kiven spun toward her, his translator struggling to process the horror in his voice. "Voidrunning is theoretical. The mathematics don't work. The energy requirements alone would." would require the total industrial output of a planet for 3 centuries, Anna finished calmly. Earth's been building them for 600 years, since the day we made first contact and realized the Council would never accept us as equals. We built them in the Kuiper Belt, in the Uit Cloud, in hollowed asteroids where your surveillance couldn't reach. While you celebrated your superiority, we prepared for your inevitability. The chamber's defense systems howled to life. Klaxons wailed. Counselor Vrex was screaming orders into his communicator, but Anna could hear the panic in his voice. The Council fleet, 300 vessels stationed around their capital, was engaging the human ships. She watched the tactical display with clinical detachment as humanity's answer to genocide unfolded. The Voidrunners didn't fight like Council ships. They didn't maneuver in predictable patterns or follow established combat doctrines. They phased in and out of quantum space, appearing inside the Council's defensive perimeter, then vanishing before return fire could track them. Their weapons weren't energy-based or kinetic. They manipulated spacetime itself, creating localized gravitational anomalies that crushed Council vessels like aluminum cans. In 4 minutes, the battle was over. In 5 minutes, transport signatures began materializing throughout Council Station. Kivin drew his ceremonial blade, a useless gesture, but the only defiance left to him. "How?" he demanded, his voice breaking. "How does a species develop such technology in secret? How do you build a fleet that size without our intelligence detecting it?" Anna's shackles deactivated and fell to the floor with a clatter. She rubbed her wrists, her expression utterly devoid of mercy. "Because you made the same mistake every empire makes, Ambassador. You assumed we were like you. You judged our technological development by the ships we showed you, the colonies we established in plain sight, the military forces we deployed openly." She walked toward the viewport, watching as human soldiers in matte black combat suits materialized in the corridors beyond the chamber. But humans don't think in terms of equilibrium. We don't develop technology to achieve parity with our rivals. We develop it to ensure absolute dominance. While your species were negotiating trade agreements and territorial boundaries, we were hiding 90% of our industrial capacity and 99% of our research in places you never thought to look. The chamber doors exploded inward. 6 human soldiers entered, their weapons trained on the Council representatives with mechanical precision. But they didn't fire. They simply waited. A woman entered behind them, tall, gray-haired, wearing a simple black uniform with no insignia. She walked directly to Anna and embraced her briefly. "Dr. Chen," the woman said, "Admiral Kusanagi, sorry we're late." "Right on schedule, Admiral," Anna replied. Kusanagi turned to address the Council, her expression carved from ice. "By the authority of the United Earth Remnant Fleet, I am placing this Council under military occupation. Your forces have surrendered. Your communication networks are under our control. Your leadership is now in custody." Kiven's legs gave out. He collapsed into his seat, his translator emitting broken static. You've won. Why not simply kill us? Why not glass our worlds as we did yours?" Admiral Kusanaga's eyes held depths of pain that transcended translation. "Because we're not you, Ambassador. We don't celebrate extinction. We mourn what you forced us to become." She gestured to her soldiers, who began escorting the Council members from the chamber. As they passed Anna, several species representatives flinched away from her. This human who had stood witness to her world's death and never broken, never revealed the weapon her species had spent centuries forging in secret. Only Kivin paused. "What happens now?" Anna looked at him with eyes that had watched 3 billion of her species die. Now we rebuild. Earth is lost, but humanity survives. The Voidrunners carried industrial seeds, nanofabricators that can bootstrap entire civilizations from raw materials. By this time next year, we'll have 47 thriving colonies. By the end of the decade, 400. "And the Council?" Kivin asked quietly. Reformed, Admiral Kusanagi answered. Under new management, with actual representation for emerging species, no more subordination, no more genocide as galactic policy. She leaned closer to Kivan, her voice dropping to barely above a whisper. You wanted to teach humanity our place in the cosmic order, Ambassador. Consider the lesson learned. But understand this, our place isn't beneath you. It never was, and now everyone will know it. As they led him away, Kivan looked back one final time at the viewport. The human fleet filled the space beyond. Hundreds of impossible ships that existed only because humanity had looked at the Council's superiority and responded not with acceptance, but with quiet, relentless defiance that spanned 6 centuries. Anna remained at the viewport long after the chamber emptied, watching her species' war machines hold position around the Council's heart. Earth was gone, 3 billion lives extinguished, but humanity, stubborn, vengeful, forward-thinking humanity, had prepared for this moment since the day they learned they were not alone in the universe. The Council had celebrated too soon. They always did.